So before we start our video today, I just wanted to say a huge thanks to everybody who commented on my last video. I know it was a bit of a tough one. It's a kind of a hard situation. Those of you who saw the video know exactly what I'm talking about, but it has been a hard time for me, and your guys' support has meant so much to me. I truly have the best viewers ever. So big thanks to all you guys out there. So now let's get started with today's video. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hammerdown Motorsports. My name is Steve Fast. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Today, a bunch of stuff arrived for the shop. So I've got a whole big Lowe's box right here. We have a bunch of lights here. Some of the boxes are a little bit crunched up, and I will explain why. We do have a TV mount for, oh yes, a brand new 43-inch Samsung flat screen. So funny story about the lights, and this is an opportunity for you guys to laugh at me a little bit. I was loading the kids in the car to take them to school, and when the mail carrier dropped off these lights here and a few other things, they put it right behind the garage door. So I just loaded the kids up in the car. I'm backing out. I'm not really thinking that something might be there. I wasn't even looking in the reverse camera or anything like that. When I'm backing out of the garage with the Denali, I'm usually looking in the mirrors. And as luck would have it, we do have a bunch of snow outside, so a little bit of resistance in driving backwards wasn't really something that was unexpected. And it just so happens that these packages were behind the Denali, and I ended up driving over a bunch of my brand new lights. So I did order 10 lights. These are 20 bucks a piece, so they're not exactly cheap. And the thing is, I ended up ruining 2 of them. So I ordered 2 more. This one here just suffered a little bit of edge damage. The light itself, I think, will still work. So I am expecting trim rings. They actually should be in this box here. I don't know if that one will be salvageable, but either way, I did order 2 extras just in case. So we will have all 10 for up in the mezzanine. But yes, if you're gonna back out of your garage, make sure you just check that backup camera real quick, because there might be packages there that you definitely don't want to run over. So we do have a little bit of progress in the shop. I can't wait to put a vehicle on that lift, and I hope the electricians come back soon. It's been pretty cold, so they kind of been staying away because there isn't really any heat in here at the moment, just kind of the torpedo heater, which goes straight out the top because we don't have any insulation in here yet. But either way, once they get back, we can get this stuff done, and then we can move on to the next thing. And I'll be very excited to do that because I really want to get some insulation in here. I need to get the electrical inspection done. I need to go up there, get the mezzanine sheeted, be able to start doing more of the finish work and whatnot, and getting things plugged in, getting things turned on. That's just kind of where I'm at right now, but we're waiting on the trades. So once they come in here, get this pounded out of here, hopefully we can start on more fun things like that, and I can start making a little bit more progress. But either way, we have the 2019 Dodge Ram. So let's talk a little bit about that. When we bought this truck, it was on the lot, or it was already ordered and it was ready to go. They already had the truck in the port. They were just bringing it to the dealership. So we didn't get to click any boxes of the stuff that we wanted. And it was just kind of the end of the year thing. Like, this truck was here, it's ready to go. So we're gonna pick this one. It was the closest to what we wanted. But there are some things that I definitely would recommend ordering if you're gonna buy one of these trucks. And this is what they are. First thing, if you have a truck and you tow things, it does have a trailer hitch. It does have trailer wiring, 7-pin and 4-pin, but make sure you get the trailer brake controller, because I ordered one from Dodge and it's gonna take a couple of months to get it. So it's gonna be a little bit of time before we're gonna be towing with this truck. Second thing, power steps. Now, I do love power steps. We have them on the Denali. They're great for the kids. They can get in and out by themselves, no problem at all. My wife is pretty short. She can get in and out of the truck. You don't end up wearing the bolster of your seat because you don't have to slide out of the truck when you put your feet on the ground. And basically, it just makes life so much easier getting in and out of this truck. Even for me, I'm 6 feet tall, and to get in and out of this truck, it is a little bit on the high side. So to have that step there, definitely a must-have. Another thing while we're looking at the muddy mess that this truck is, Mud flaps. This is something that I plan on getting. I might get them from Dodge themselves, actually go to Mopar and get the ones that fit perfectly. I think they are in no drill, so you can basically just use whatever hardware is already from the factory and install them. But if you're driving down any kind of muddy, dirty roads like I do, you end up with mud everywhere. So getting the mud flaps from the factory, I'm not sure if it's cheaper to get them aftermarket. I will update you guys on that once I get a price on them, or it might actually be cheaper to get them put on from the factory when you order your truck. So we will be looking into that a little bit further as well. Next up, we do have the power release, which now doesn't always open exactly when you push the button, just because we had the Line X done. Now, there is a little bit of a ridge here on the side that kind of grabs on the other material up here, and then it doesn't want to necessarily open automatically. Give it a second try here and see if it works. Now it's just kind of, it's on an incline here a little bit, so it just has that tiny little bit of resistance, so it doesn't want to open. But a lot of times if you're sitting on a level surface, it will open just like it's supposed to. But the Line X box liner is something that you're going to have to leave your truck overnight, usually at a place, to get it done, and it's kind of a hassle. So if you can get the spray-in liner from the factory, it might actually be cheaper. I know this one in particular was around 700 bucks, and we got the premium, the UV protection, all that stuff. So it will last forever and you don't have to worry about scratching up your box. But this is definitely something I wish I didn't have to have the hassle of going and getting done. Next up, as you can see in the bat cave of the black interior of this truck, which I actually really do like, we do not have a sunroof of any kind. And in these new trucks, they do have a panoramic option available. And I'm not entirely sure if that's something that I would necessarily want. I don't really miss the sunroof because it is more money that you have to spend. And I really don't use them. But it is kind of cool if you have that panoramic roof. But there again, in the summertime, it turns into kind of a fishbowl in here. So unless it has a nice cover that goes over top to keep the sun out in the summertime, to keep this truck from becoming a sauna, I don't know if I'd actually want to have the panoramic sunroof after all. And one more thing, when you buy a black truck especially, make sure you pick it up in the daytime. This truck was delivered to us at night and it was raining, it was kind of ugly outside, and we didn't get the opportunity to really check out the truck really closely to make sure there was nothing wrong with it. And I don't know if you guys could see this on camera necessarily, but right here is a chip that goes pretty much all the way down to the primer. So now we're gonna have to put touch-up paint on our brand new truck. And unfortunately, I don't really have a whole lot of good luck with dealerships. I went back to the dealership a few days later. I mean, it was snowy, it was ugly weather, whatever. I didn't have time to go there exactly when I noticed it. And I went back, the salesman basically brushed me off, said, yeah, you know, there's nothing we can do for you. So basically now I'm stuck with it and not exactly too happy about it. Another thing too with these trucks, the paint is very easily chipped. As you can see, we do have a couple of rock chips already, and this truck is never driven on gravel roads other than my own driveway to the shop right now. This is the only gravel road this truck has ever been on, and there's never ever been a vehicle in front of it. So this is all stuff from the sinters and whatnot that they put on in the winter on Pennsylvania roads, and basically just chips this black paint pretty easily. So I have to go through when everything is clean and touch all this stuff up. It's kind of disheartening to have a truck with 1,500 miles that has probably about 6 or 7 rock chips already. Another thing I really wish I did have on this truck is the 360-degree camera. That'd be really nice to kind of get the views from all the different cameras on the mirrors and the front grille and all that kind of stuff. This particular one does not have that, but that's kind of also a personal preference thing. If that's something that you really would want to have, definitely consider that as an option, because once you don't check that box, there's no getting that afterwards. So definitely something to consider. Another thing that I really did want on this truck is a tonneau cover, and there's many different options out there, and I bet everybody has their preference. Mine in particular, I will show you, it did arrive, is the same that I had on our previous Ram. This is the roll and lock, and these are actually a really nice setup. The downside to these is they do take up a little bit of your box space, because it's kind of like a cassette that sits at the front of the box. It doesn't go all the way to the bottom, so you still can put stuff below it. It's actually like a metal roll, kind of like what they use for security in stores when they're closed. They kind of close that up, and if you want to smash that in with a hammer or an axe or something like that, it would just bend and you wouldn't actually be able to get into the store. It's the same idea with the roll and lock. You just put that into place, you can lock it, and nobody can get into it when your stuff is in there, whatever. And it also keeps out the rain and all the debris and everything out of your box, especially snow in the winter time. It's kind of a pain to have that blowing around, and with the roll and lock, you just kind of sweep it off and you're good to go. Another thing with the Ram Laramie Sport, these tires, as you saw in the introduction, they are not very good in snow. They're pretty good on the highway, they're nice and quiet and everything like that, but they do not have a lot of snow and ice traction, and you always have to put it in four-wheel drive, or you end up with traction control coming on and you end up being stuck. So I have put it in four-wheel drive many times with these tires already. If you do have an option for a more aggressive tire, I definitely would go for those. So that's where we're at with the 2019 Ram. That's just kind of some of my opinions, some of the things that if I were to order this truck tomorrow, again, maybe a few things I would consider. There is one more thing that I actually just remembered. There is a electric locking diff available on these trucks. I definitely would have gotten that, but I did not have that on this truck, unfortunately. But that is something I would put on a new build list if I were to order this truck tomorrow. So those are just some of my opinions, some of my thoughts, some of the things that I hope might help you if you guys are looking to buy one of these trucks. But overall, it's been a great vehicle. It runs awesome. It actually is pretty good on fuel. It's doing about 14 miles per gallon, which is an improvement on the 2010 model that we had that was doing probably about 11, maybe 10 on a good day. So definitely something that is an improvement on the new Ram is a fuel economy. And if you guys are looking to get into a Hemi, this thing has tons of power. It is an awesome truck, and I have no regrets about getting the Ram over the Ford. So as always, we do definitely appreciate everybody's input on the build of the mezzanine, everything, decorating ideas, all that kind of good stuff. So definitely drop in the comment section your ideas for how we should decorate things up there, maybe some things we should do at this stage that maybe I'm not thinking about. Maybe we should pre-wire it for surround sound or anything crazy like that. Should be absolutely awesome. But I definitely appreciate your guys' suggestions, so definitely throw them in there and let's see what we can build out of this, because so many people putting in their ideas is gonna make this absolutely amazing, and it's kind of hard to do things after you've built it. So to be at this stage of the game right now, we have the opportunity to mold this into an absolutely amazing space, and I can't wait for it to be done. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and as always, keep that hammer down.